What's up, internet? This is Eric from Late to the Game Outdoors doing a quick review of the Elite Ritual, my new bow. Here is the deal, or some of the specs on this one. This is the Ritual 33, which you'll also see listed as just the Ritual. It's the middle size, so they've got a 30 axle to axle, much shorter, popular with tree stand hunters, guys who are in blinds a lot. And then they have a 35, more of their target shooting, pretty big to be walking around the woods with, and the 33, which sits right in the middle and seems perfect. This particular one, I have in the QU Vias finish. I'm not saying that right, probably, but you know, you'll see it on the internet. Which that is something to be aware of, or maybe a ding against the Elite company. That finish and some of the others, if you're on their bow builder site, this is one of their premium finishes, costs an extra $100, but that's not real clear. So you kind of go through the bow builder, you put your finish on, you fall in love with it, it looks amazing, and then you're like 3 or 4 clicks into the process about to buy it, and you realize the bow is now $100 more than it initially was gonna be. So just be aware, some of those finishes, this one included, cost a little more, and you have to decide if you are vain enough, like me, to pay the extra money anyway, just because it looks so cool. Some of their solid colors, a couple of their camos are the same $9.99 MSRP, but this one and a few others will cost you another $100. For me, I am far from a new bow every year kind of guy, and figured I'm gonna be shooting this and walking around the woods with it for years, and dang it, I just thought the finish looked really cool. But in terms of quality of finish, they did a terrific job. It's on there, nice and even, looks great. I don't foresee any problems or chipping or flaking or anything like that. You will notice, like a lot of bow companies, not a big deal, the split limbs are only black. Unless you get the riser in black, they're not gonna match, but frankly, that doesn't matter. My first bow was that same way, and I cannot for the life of me think of an animal that went running off into the woods because it noticed my black limbs. That sounds weird. For my particular setup, I also ordered the 11-inch stabilizer from Elite because I just wanted a nice dead in the hand feel, and also ordered the QAD Rest from Elite, which not only has the fancy logo on it, but also says it comes semi-close to dialed in already and is supposed to simplify the tuning process. As far as how quickly it got set up and tuned, I was amazed. I brought all the pieces and the bare bow into my bow shop, and in an hour, I was fully set up, shooting bullet holes through paper. It was amazing. The guys just had to do a couple adjustments here or there, and I was locked and loaded and ready to go. And since then, have probably only put about 100, 150 arrows through it. So should be fairly well broken in, but nothing's moving, nothing's twisting, nothing's getting weird. I just love it more and more the more that I shoot it. If you've been researching Elites or the Ritual in particular, you'll probably read some stuff about the grip. When they came out in 2018, just last year, a lot of guys started freaking out about how the grip had changed. Well, frankly, I wasn't shooting an Elite before this, so I don't have much to compare it to, but honestly, I have not had a problem with it. It does feel a little bit boxier maybe than my other bows. They had more of a rounded, maybe a streamlined kind of grip, but I have big hands. This thing fits me just fine. I think anytime you go to a new bow, the grip is gonna be different, it's gonna feel different, and some guys' reaction is to just freak out and complain. If you really love the grip on your bow, keep shooting your bow. Because after a few quivers of arrows, you start to figure out where that hand needs to be, and it's just your new grip. You don't think about it anymore. I've not had any problems with the grip on this thing. The big question, I'm sure if you're looking into an Elite, is you have heard about just how incredibly shootable the bows are. That was their reputation for me. My brother-in-law shot an Elite for years and was always saying it was just so smooth, so shootable, which I don't know if it's technically an English word, but we're going with it. And the question is that true? Yes, it is very true. To be perfectly honest, this is set at 70 pounds, same poundage as my last bow. When the bow shop first handed it to me to draw back for the first time, I checked with them that it was in fact set to 70 pounds because it felt so much lighter just because it was so smooth. It was so much easier to draw than my last bow, and the poundage is exactly the same. It is an extremely smooth draw cycle, and that is one of the things I love most about it. In the interest of giving a somewhat fair comparison, here's just the draw cycle of the Elite Ritual, and I'll throw some old footage to compare drawing my last bow, which was a great bow, just didn't draw as smoothly. Just feels so incredibly smooth. Ugh. Another thing, the let-off on this thing is so great, it is hard to let down from a shot. You feel almost like you have to push the string forward. It's incredible. I love that. As you're sitting there at full draw, waiting for an elk or a deer or whatever to meander its way into your shooting lane, I feel like I could just stand there for a good long while, taking my time waiting for the perfect opportunity. I mentioned before how dead in the hand I wanted it to feel, ordering the longer stabilizer. And I've seen stuff where guys are shooting these without stabilizers and it still feels pretty dead, which I would believe, because I am so impressed with just how still everything feels as that shot breaks, and there's just no vibrations, no weirdness. It doesn't feel like the bottom part of your bow is flinging out. It's just a terrific, solid shooting experience. One other thing that I've experienced and loved about this bow is it is incredibly forgiving. So it's got a 6 3/4 brace height. So just under that 7, but still on the higher end, giving you they're searching for the perfect blend of speed and forgiveness. I shoot this bow so much better than either of the 2 bows I've had before this. And that's not me practicing real hard. I've been out of town a lot this summer. I am absolutely what you would call an average archer, but this bow makes me shoot better. I shoot it well, and I'm amazed to see the groups I'm starting to get. This bow I set up for the first time. I shoot a fixed 5-pin, and I did my pins 30 to 70 instead of the usual 20 to 60 because I wanted that extra 10 yards at the end. And older bows at 60, I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel great taking a 60-yard shot. This bow at 70, I'm getting a smaller group than I had in previous bows at 60. So tighter group at 10 yards further. I'm not a mathematician, but I am so impressed with how forgiving this bow is, how well it shoots, how consistently I can shoot it. And in the interest of not being full of BS, I'm going to just send a 3-yard group down at 70 and see where it lands this morning. Again, super average archer, but this bow just feels great and shoots really well. So groups and yardages aside, archery, you've surely heard this before, it's so true, is a confidence game. If you're out there pursuing an animal and you have that moment of it's time to take the shot, if there's any doubt in your mind or you're just, we're having some struggles at the range, that's gonna show up in that moment and it's really going to affect your ability to be successful. So heading into the field with a bow that you feel like you would be shocked if that arrow didn't bury itself right where you aimed, that's a huge factor in whether or not you're gonna find success out there. And I have never felt more confident in a bow than I do this one. I am so pumped for seasons to start this fall, to get out there, and I'm convinced in my head. I've been doing my scouting, I've got a great weapon. I'm just convinced some animals are gonna drop this year, and that confidence is such a huge part of being successful. So, if you are in the market for a new bow, if you've been researching your face off, as I often do, and considering the Elite line, this is my first Elite, and I am so extremely satisfied with it. Head down to your bow shop, find your nearest Elite dealer, and just see if you can run some arrows through some of them. Just feel for yourself. It will probably feel different, the grip will be different, the whatever, but I imagine as you draw that back, as you feel that incredibly solid back wall, as you just see how these bows work and how smoothly they shoot, I would not be surprised if you left the bow shop with a new Elite in your hand. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, post them below, and I would so appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. But for now, finish getting yourself dialed in, and let's get out there this fall and have some fun.